What's going on, everyone? And today we're doing another play-by-play. And if you don't know the series by now, the play-by-play series is basically where we go over each individual class, as of right now, at least, and we go over how to generally play them, what my thought process is behind when I play them, and things of that nature. And so that's what we're doing today with the mages. If you haven't seen any of the other ones, I urge you to go and look at the playlist. There's a curated playlist for Assassin, Guardian, and just a general play-by-play on in that playlist if you want to take a look at it. But if this is your first video, that is basically what we're trying to do here today. Thank you, Jake the Great, for the... That's not supposed to be there. Anyways, we're playing Mage here, and... yeah, so one thing about mages that I always, or just in general actually, is to always look at your matchup. So we do have a Baba Yaga Xbalanque and a Maui, which means that most likely the Baba Yaga is going to go into damage, and the Xbalanque is obviously going into damage, and the Maui is going to go into tank. So meaning flat pen is going to be good here. They're actually going to go for blue. I like it. See if we can't get it. I actually we can... Just gonna go ahead and do that there. We got to be careful here because they can punish us super hard because we did that. But as long as we play safe, if you do try to steal buffs like that, always pay attention that they have very good chance at punishing you for that. So in that case, I'm gonna actually do blue here because I think this is the correct play. They're gonna clear wave before us, which means that they're gonna get a chance to try and steal this. I'm just gonna poke over the wall, maybe. I was able to hit him too. Just gonna throw that over the wall just for the wave. Very nice. We actually did get a triple buff control, which is very nice. And we don't lose much minions at all. But one thing to pay attention to, this isn't my first time doing this actually. I lost a game with the exact same god. I was playing Yu Huang, as I think he is one of the safest gods in the game right now. And especially seeing as the tank mage meta is sort of out of fashion, seemingly. That the burst mages, burst gods... Actually, we can fight this. I didn't realize how much they were going in on this. Oh. Should still be a kill, though. Nice. He dies, but... we do get first blood, which is fine. We're still ahead, which is... well, I'll take that. Do be careful. I don't have my abilities up as I was just doing wave. But yeah, there's nothing really up here. So if you've done wave, done buffs like that, always make sure to see what you can do next. And I can back here. There's no point in me being here. But yeah, as I was saying, burst mage gods like Yu Huang and stuff like that, especially the safe ones, are going to be back in the meta, I think, a lot more than those gods who took advantage of that cringe tank mage build. And with that, one thing I do want to, point out to you guys, as a mage, or if you are playing a mage, one thing you're going to want to pay attention to, generally speaking, is how your teammates are playing. So we do have an assassin. I am imagining is going to go sort of hybrid, hopefully. And we do have a tank, and seemingly, as of right now, they're playing pretty aggressively, as you can see, which means that I'm also should be paying attention, that I'm going to try and be there to do the damage, to the back line, stuff like that, poke them out. And similarly, if they're... Ooh. I'm trying to peel here. I don't think I hit anybody there, but Baba Yaga is ulting. Did a lot of damage there, which is very nice. And our Circuit lives, which is very good. Got all of their ults, got my ult as well. Bacchus and Circuit still have ult, as you can see by the little diamond thing, so... can do something here, especially with red being up. They don't have a lot of things that they can do. Maybe you can get this guy out. Just do a bit of damage. We can just get red here. But because the Circuit lives, we actually get to punish them here and get red. They do get their blue, but we should be able to get purple after this as well. Always make sure your buff can't... Oh. Super greedy. Did not expect them to be there. We need to get purple here, though. They're very low though, so I'm gonna wait here just in case they try to do something, even though the better play is just to... Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and back up here. Just a little bit. We do a wave here again. So I thought the Circuit may have done something there, but he did not. Alright, I'm going for buff here. So the Circuit is just there, so not much I can do else. So he's just chilling there. They might be coming over here to try and steal this. So I'm gonna wait. Sure, she did damage it too. Circuit's out there. Alright, that's fine. But yeah, see, I'm paying attention to where they're at, just so I can be there in case they do get some type of setup or positioning to where we can fuck them, basically. But as a mage, another thing you want to pay attention to is, generally speaking, you should always be behind your tank or behind your assassin, I guess. Even that too, because assassins should be more up. I could not hold wave for them this time because usually you're supposed to hold your wave, and I advocate for that, but because they weren't here, they just backed. I had to take that wave. But always pay attention to that, as well as being in front of your tank is a lot of the times how I see people die, and it's so easy not doing that. I'm gonna go flat pen here because, like I said, I'm gonna be able to do a lot of damage to Xbalanque and Baba Yaga, because Baba Yaga, although can go into prophetic, it's only one item, and I'm gonna go Ob Shard here anyways because Ob Shard is so good on Yu Huang that it's gonna cancel that out anyways. Sort of min-maxing my percent and flat pen. But yeah. One thing that I always see is, and a very easy fix is just being behind your team. Baba Yaga, I would just try to retreat. I don't think you can. Actually beats nothing. Do have my ult still. Alright, yeah, Xbalanque is starting to hurt me. It was a nice kill. The Bogus is playing a little too far up. He's being a little too aggressive, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna tell him to just dial it back a little bit. I did beads nothing, unfortunately. I couldn't see because all the fucking effects and shit. But actually, I'll take that because I think you just die here. Very greedy. I'm not entirely sure what that was. I'll take it, though. I will take it. I'm gonna go into a Desolation. They don't have enough healing to where I don't care about. But their ults are down. My ult is still up, so if Bacchus does get a flop or anything like that, I will make sure that I am gonna be there to do the damage. Very similarly to a lot of other classes like Assassins, Hunters, everything else, you don't really get too online and start actually pumping out the numbies until a couple items in. That's why items like Chronos Pendant, which has a lot of cooldown, which is a priority for a lot of mages. You guys should be dead. Nice. Very out of position, and they caught him. I'm gonna go for my jungle buff. But one thing that mages prioritize themselves on, I'm actually gonna take this as well because I don't need blue, and I'm doing top damage, so. Trying to peel him off. Got the Maui ult too. That Xbalanque ult for nothing. I'll take it. A lot of damage. Seeing if that Xbalanque would actually pull up, because I absolutely killed him there. Baba Yaga's here though. But I would just retreat. Not much we can do here, and I do want to back because I am out of mana, and I can get my Deso, so. I will be right back. They can take that wave. But like I said, ooh, he's in there. Like I said, he's in there. A lot of mages, they after a couple items, once they get cooldown and MP5, a lot of the times, that's why Book of Thoth is a good item too. Getting MP5 and cooldown is one of the main things that make mages really good. And as always, they like to die when I'm not there. Should be double kill, honestly, you know. I'll take it. Super aggro for nothing, which is weird. But I shall take a double kill. A lot of times people are going to, like I said last, I think The last game that I played was super winnable. I did almost 40k damage, and we still lost compared to, I think I was the top damage in the game. And they were just inting and inting and inting and inting. And sometimes you're just going to lose games like that, especially with a god like Yu Huang, which isn't the most carryable type of god in the game, I will say. So you will lose games if you are solo queuing, so always keep that in mind, that just because, you know, everyone loses for the most part. Unless you're like trio queuing, then that's not really playing the game the way a lot of people play the game. So, but if you're solo queuing, you're going to lose, and then that's okay. But you are going to try to look for those openings to carry. If you are in an area you think that you should be in, it shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. That should be... Oh, okay, his dash was up. I did waste my ult. My beads are up, though, so... I don't have to worry too much. Thought maybe I'd get a cheeky little kill. He stuns him. He should... waiting... It's actually bad by me. I'll take it. I don't think I ever die here. Can kill the Maui too. Should be dead, yeah. Super greedy. A lot of damage there. Red's gonna be up, always pay attention to your buffs. I am out of mana as well. That is why, particularly MP5, things like that, just having a large mana pool is very good. We can kill this guy. I'm out of mana though, unfortunately. He's dead though. Ooh, not entirely sure what that was, but... So you don't think you want to fight me. I am out of mana, so I'm going to back up. Very sus plays. Which is why I'm going to have to try and carry this game as per usual. Yes. At this point, I'm going to get Aegis beads on your mages are just going to be your always good to go items. They might get that. They are going to get that, unfortunately. See if they can't defend it. I'm just going to chill here for a second because they can't really do too much with that. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Soul Reaver just to get even more damage. I am pretty far ahead compared to everyone else in the game. Even the enemy team. Look for Bull Demon here. I'm going to have to get wards here as well. But some games you're just going to have to try and carry. Looking for an opening here maybe. But there's a Blanque does back up, so not too much there. I see Serket in the jungle, but I don't think there's too much we can do. One tip about Yu Huang is if you hold up your 2 and they try to juke it, you can always just cancel it and use your 1 to get that extra burst off. Which is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to hug this wall. See if I can't get some of the purple XP. I don't think I did. Was able to dodge that. Should be dead. Nice. Ultimate is ready. It was actually a really nice, still good to go here, even though I'm very low. I could die by the Baba. Got his beads, I'll take it. Blanca is still down, which is why I'm still pretty good here. Just need to be careful I don't get poked out by the Baba. That was a bad one, too. 2-1. Alright, Xbalanque is going to be back here, so it's probably best that we leave. Alright, I'll be right back. They can have that wave if they want. A little bit, a couple misplays that I made there, we could have gotten kills there. But I'll take it. Small wins are always something you want to pay attention to. I am a lot ahead. I'm 2 levels ahead now instead of the 1 that I was on the enemy team. So I am going to save the wave here for them because they are low. Alright. They might be a Bull Demon. They're not, though. Okay. Red's going to be up. We were able to get it too, which is nice. I'll take that. they are going to turtle, we can always look at Bull Demon, so I will make sure to point that out if we have the opportunity to do that. But poking here is just a little small thing. Just see if you can't block that for me. A lot of damage. I did not mean to throw that. A little tanky. He's gonna die, I think. Yeah. Should be okay here. I don't know how that missed, actually. I'm gonna have to try and defend here. I think I can. They can't get anything off that. They actually misplayed the fuck out of that really badly. That's really the only thing that happened there. I could have actually hit more abilities. That was better. I don't think he's doing Bull Demon. No. Alright, I'll be right back. They very much could have. Oh my god. Alright, I'll be right back. I need to start hitting my abilities. Those were really bad. That actually 1-2-1 combo probably would have killed him, or very close to it. Alright, I'll be right back. Let them know, because I am leaving. I might still rerun line. Surprisingly, with how many times they've been dying, how many opportunities they had, the Circuit didn't actually go hybrid at all, which is really, really bad. If you're playing Assassins, at least going one item is what you should be. One defense item is what you should be prioritizing. A little bit of damage. Try to dodge. A little bit of damage. Clear wave. They should be going for Bull Demon here. I think that they can actually easily do that, but they're not doing it, so I'm totally fine with that, honestly. Looking at the Bala, because she's super out of position. Unfortunately. I got her ult, though, which is fine. I'm not going to get the kill. I'll take the ult. We can go in on this. Should be dead. At least close to it. That guy's dead. Baba's staying. We do have a little bit of wave back there, but we should be able to get tower. Or at least close to it. Baba's gonna be here. They have my ult, but I'm a little... Actually, was able to get that kill. Nice. I was holding my ult a little bit longer than I should have. I don't think I'd die here either, actually, because this guy isn't scary. Which is actually really nice. We actually get this tower. We might actually get Phoenix here, too. I do want to get this, though. We can. Attack. Go in, attack. I'll take it. Alright, we weren't able to get tower for so fucking long because we wanted to get buffs instead of tower there. I'll be right back. Circuit at the very least should have been doing Bull Demon, maybe. After, of course, we got the tower, but I am missing a decent amount of my abilities, but as you can still see, I'm still somewhat caring, but just paying attention to like where they're at. The Circuit's probably gonna die. Ooh, very close. One thing about damage is that you guys are both glass cannons, so whoever gets the jump is gonna be the one who gets the upper hand. Yeah, they do have a Jablanca. I really wish the Midgard would be here, but he did get breastplate instead. Not the play I think is good. Baba Yaga's right there. I'm gonna point that out to him. Oh, hello. Super sus pathing by myself, honestly. They could have been baiting me, although at this level they probably wouldn't be. Also, at this point, I'm level 20 basically, so I want to try and get my starter online and not to delay that any further than I can. But as you can see, if they're being very aggressive, the enemy team as well as you, we can actually bait this. That was a really, really bad ult by me, but he does cut them off, which does give us that kill. Or it should, yeah, nice. Also, the Baba ult is not as tanky as you may think it is. Oh, I meant to 3 that a lot sooner than I did. I'm gonna try and kill this Baba if I can. Nice. Oh, the silence. This should be dead. Nice. Jablonka is going to be up, attack Fire Giant. Basically, just being behind your teammates, just trying to see where you can take advantage of any of the situations. So I'm paying attention to the map here to see if the Jablonka, because the Jablonka probably knows that we're doing this. Oh, he does not. Okay. He's still there. So I can throw out my abilities. We should be able to get this for free. Yeah, because Blanca is still there. Don't think he has any idea. And that should be that. I'm going to back here. Be careful mid on my way. I will get my starter here. I didn't want to delay this any further than I did, but we do have a second life here, which makes me super, super valuable. I'm actually not going to upgrade my relics here because might be able to. The power pot might be enough to get me something. I'm going to tell him that I need the jungle buff. But he does take it, unfortunately. No point of him taking that with him 4 levels down as well, but we should be able to just get this. The Circuit was smart. She should play the jungle. No, cancel that. There's no point. All right, well. We have to be careful here because although we have Bull Demon, I'm level 20 and shit like that. We don't have a team. Retreat! We don't have Circuit, so... Like, although I could have ulted there was no point. I am in front of them, though, so I didn't want to be careful with that. I want to try and get tower here as soon as possible. I'm gonna 3 the... I'm trying to 3. Okay, 3ing is not doing the thing here. Guy should be dead. That should be game, honestly. Very sus game. Playing from behind, too, when they have a Xbalanque Baba is very, very scary as well, especially when they're playing like that. I'm just gonna do damage here just to poke him out so he can potentially die. Yeah, this should just be game. Nice, very nice. So that's basically how you carry. That was a little bit that game I didn't want it to go like that because I did get most of the points out that I wanted to. I will reiterate it here, of course. But there were games like that you're gonna have to sink in, or not sink in. What am I talking about? Lock in, not sink in. Jesus, lock in and try to carry it from your position as. You can carry games, a lot of games from your hunter and mage if you're one of the two. All right, yeah. So this is the screen here. I wasn't playing necessarily all that great either. I was missing a lot of abilities. But like one thing I was saying was when you're playing as solo queue and you see your enemy or you see your team and what they're doing, you have to play based on what they're going to be doing. Basically. The thought process that I was going through is that the Bacchus was super hyper aggressive for actually a lot of reasons that weren't justified. Like when we had Bull Demon and Circuit left, we should have just hung around and done nothing. That was actually a very good opportunity for the enemy team to come back and take advantage of that. They weren't good enough, or they weren't aware enough, sorry. They weren't aware enough to capitalize off that, and so we were able to... He was able to jump in. I wasn't able to get consistent damage off because I was trying to play back because I knew if I played with him, if they turn that somehow, which they easily could have, it's a 3v2, then we both die and Cirquette's back up and we basically lose the game. So although I didn't play with him then, you saw the majority of the game I was there with him, waiting for him to set up, which a lot of times he did. And that's basically how you want to play. Cirquette was somewhat aggressive in the beginning of the game and then just like died off. I don't know what that was. I'm curious her damage. Her damage is actually less than the Bacchus, which is kind of crazy to me with your full damage build, which you should not be building if you're going to go an assassin like Cirquette in ranked Joust, because that's how you die, and that's how you get one shot a lot of times. But again, glass cannon can work. Like she was able to kill a lot of or basically one shot the enemy team. But I digress. You paying attention to what your enemy is doing, or I'm sorry, your teammates. I keep saying that your teammate is doing is how you're going to win those games as well. Because although a lot of the times where I'm thinking like we should probably back off here, or a lot of times I'm like we should probably go in here, I'm just playing off of what they're doing, as you can't control what they do, but you can control what you do, and go based off of that. So I'm just looking at my notes again, as I did get off most of the notes that I wanted to throughout the game, and I was saying basically what I was doing and thinking throughout the entire game, except like when we were fighting, because a lot of times I have to pivot my mind and I'm just on game mode, like I'm locked in and I can't really explain it right as we're doing it, because then I lose track. It's multitasking, stuff like that. But for the most part, I hit most of my stuff. There was a lot of times where I could have played certain situations better. As that's also one thing you should also pay attention to as just a player in general. Then this goes out to anyone, even if you're a GM or you're even on the fucking SPL, for example. Always pay attention to, I think I said this before, always pay attention to what you're doing and what you can be doing better. Like my mechanics that game were okay in terms of how I generally play. I missed a lot of abilities that I normally wouldn't. And so paying attention to your positioning. There were a certain number of times where I was out of position, like that one time, even though I didn't get punished, I could have easily gotten punished if I was in a higher bracket. I actually probably would have died there, where I went into their jungle. I was following the Baba, and the Maui was mid, and she could have been baiting me the entire time, but she actually wasn't, because we're too low for that to be a thing, I guess. But you know, certain things like that, paying attention to the mistakes or certain things that you can improve on are what what you can only control. Like I said earlier, you can't control your teammates, you can only control yourself. And so being able to look at what you're doing and seeing what you did wrong and trying to improve on those things, even when you play a game like this where I'm going 12-0, basically have a godlike, I have 30k, I've over doubled both of my I actually did more damage than both my teammates combined. And then also, you know, playing pretty well. There are still things that you can do to improve, regardless of that, and that's always something you always want to improve as a person, as a gamer, and just in general. So even though you are fucking insane in the game, there's always something you can look at. So always trying to pay attention to that and getting better, and fixing those small little nuances in your game is gonna how you're gonna get better as well. But going over, like I said again earlier, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do for the most part, because I had to try and carry, or I did carry. I tried and then did carry the game. But, you know, hopefully you guys did take something from that, maybe, or at the very least it's entertaining, because, like the Camel's last video I did, I think that was that was the best play-by-play I think I did, just because of, I was on point with everything and whatnot. This game, my teammates just were doing weird things at some points, and that goes for the last game as well. That goes into my next point. You're always going to lose games if you're going to solo queue. There are some games that are just not winnable. It doesn't matter how good you are. Obviously if you're better, you're going to mitigate that a lot more, but if you're solo queuing and you're not at like 3k MMR, you're at like gold MMR, there are going to be games you cannot carry, and that's what happened last game. I did almost 40k damage. I think I already said this, but I had a Herc and a Mage, and we somehow lost that game. They were just inting and inting and inting and inting and inting. Even after we lost like 4 or 5 team fights in a row, they just kept going, to the point where my Mage was like level fucking 12, and the enemy team, they had a Hera that was like level 15 or some shit like that, which snowballing is one thing that a lot of people just don't, they can't play back. And so my point is, there are going to be games you can't win, and so don't beat yourself too much on it. Just look at the game, analyze it, see what you could have done better, and go from there and move on to the next one. But again, let's go back into the game just real quickly. I'm going to go over the last couple of points and then that'll be it. As a mage, you're basically trying to be behind the enemy or behind your team. If you're playing if you're playing with a team who's super aggressive, make sure that you're with them. If they're playing super passive, follow suit. As the later the game goes, the more item. It's just a safer play anyways if you're trying to be passive. That's how GMs play games. If you ever see a GM play a GM trio stack against another GM trio stack, they just play super passive because they know one mistake that they do, they're just basically waiting for the enemies to do a mistake, and you'll see those games like only have like maybe 5 or 6 kills because of that. So playing passive is always a safer play. It's not the most fun, but it is a very safe play that allows you to get your items online, especially as you're a mage. As you can see, getting Chronos online and then getting like another item like an Obshot or a Desolation. So basically 3 items in is going to be something that you're going to have to try and get to, because that's when you start to spike and actually start to do a lot of damage. As you saw, it's able to one-shot basically the X-Ball and the Baba, and you can't really do that early game. And that goes for a lot of gods as well. So playing behind your teammate is what you're playing behind your tank is what you're always going to have to do anyways. So if you're up above your tank, always question yourself, like, am I here? If I'm above my tank right here, am I going to die? Is this a bad position? You saw me do that when I was at their Phoenix. I was in front of my tank, but I wasn't too much in trouble because we had pressure there. But it is still riskier. So always try to be like cognizant of where you are. Always try to be behind your tank, for generally speaking, unless, you know, certain situations call for it. And I already went over the build and with mages having, you need one thing that mages are really focusing on is cooldown and MP5, as you're basically just throwing out your burst abilities. And if you have a lot of mana while also having a lot of cooldown, you're basically just spamming out your abilities while being safe in the back line, which is something that mages are they really do best, and that's sort of what I want to highlight, and hopefully I highlighted it there. But yeah, I think this was a decent game to showcase off some of the players that don't always aren't always with it in terms of being on the same type of mindset in turn, you know, like going in when you want to go in playing this smart, because a lot of the other play-by-plays that I had, there were a lot of gamers that were actually pretty much with it. This game I actually had to focus up and base a lot of my actions off of what they were doing, because a lot of them were really aggressive. Serket was one-shottable, and they were just making silly plays all over the place when we really shouldn't have been doing that. But I think that's it. If you want, here's the damage, 30k, 31k, close to, and then the build path. As you can see, the Baba went into a prophetic cloak there, which allowed my Obshard to do a little bit more. But also with my Deso having cooldown, I had max cooldown 40% with Chronos starter and Deso. I was able to basically one-shot the X-Ball with my 40% pen as well, also doing a lot of damage to Baba Yaga with one of my abilities, of course, not the entire thing. As you can see, a lot of these builds are very silly here, but my build idea is to do a bunch of damage. Yu Huang does a lot of damage with percent pen, with his abilities being very, very good. He does a lot of fucking damage. Soul Reaver there was just to do a bunch more damage. I was thinking about going Divine there, and that's actually not a bad play. But I think getting Soul Reaver and doing extra damage to the Maui while also doing even more damage with the Soul Reaver to the squishies is still very good as well. And then Rod of Tahuti is just very good. Always make sure you get your upgraded alternate timeline. But that's it. That's basically everything I wanted to say. Hopefully you guys learned something, or at the very least found it entertaining. But with that, if you have any suggestions or feedback, let me know in the comment section down below. But with that, thank you guys for watching.